Welcome back to Are You Seeing This? Today I have Mandy.
Hi.
So we were just talking about this, but I met her or found her on Twitter first, but we never thought of collaborating. And then I found your TikTok. I was like, why don't we just do a collaboration? I don't know. I love your channel. Her channel is Mandy Nicole Sports on TikTok. So go follow her after this. And what's your Twitter? I can't remember.
So Twitter is Mandy Hair, and it's Haerr. So it's pronounced like hair on your head, but it's not spelled like that.
Oh, that actually helps. That actually helps. So today, if you guys want to follow her, go follow her. She's really funny, and I love the way that you present your content. It's very informational, like interviewer, backstage interviewer.
Yeah. So funny story is I didn't even know before I started doing this, I didn't even know wrestling talk was a thing. And I was I'm watching it every week. And then I randomly come across some people and I'm like, what? This is a thing? So I'm still filling it out, but it's really cool.
Yeah. What brought you to wrestling? How'd you find I guess what,
So
got you into it?
I watched it a lot with my dad when I was younger. He has 10 brothers, and so they would all pile in our house and watch the pay-per-views at that point in time. And so I watched it a lot with him. And then when I got college age, because I was so busy with school and working and everything, I didn't watch it as much.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I randomly started watching again, and now I don't miss it at all. And my husband watches it with me, even though he doesn't know a lot as much as I do. He'll watch it with me. He'll be a good sport. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it just kind of was one of those things that's always been there and fell off a little bit, and then now I'm just way back in it.
No, that sounds like a common experience, and I think WWE, their social media presence has improved so much that it just reminded people of wrestling again. And that's kind of how a lot of people have come back from what I've heard. So it's like you either are a new wrestling fan like me, or you got back into it because it's becoming big again. It's huge.
Yeah. And I think that's what it was. I think I just kept seeing it more and more, and I was like, all right, let's see what's going on, because I haven't watched it in so long. Let's see who's still here and what's going on. And yeah, so it's grown a lot, and I think it's actually gotten better since when I used to watch it.
Ooh, what makes it better?
I just think the storylines, I feel they're just more involved. This whole long-term storytelling just draws you in. And then before, there was still storytelling in it, but it would last a couple weeks, and then you would move on to the next one. Now, I mean, I go into a rabbit hole all the time, especially with the Liv Dom stuff, because there's little Easter eggs everywhere, and I'm like, this has been going on for 10 years.
I'm telling you, that Liv Dom Rhea story has brought everyone in, because it's, especially for the women, at least I can say, it's kind of that drama piece, that entertainment piece. We love it. We love the drama of love affair stories or whatever. And I had people comment on my videos are I literally started watching it because of Liv and Dom, and then the kiss that woke up the wrestling world, so it's just crazy. We love the stories. And I think them, maybe in the past they were missing that entertainment piece and it was more about the wrestling piece. And there's, oh my gosh, people can get into debates about even that, what's more important, the wrestling or the story. But as we can see, the story is bringing in a lot of people too. So maybe that's important to WWE.
Well, I think a good mix of both is perfect, because you obviously want good wrestling. You don't want the in-ring stuff to be trash, but you also want to be invested in these people. So I think that's where the story comes about.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. You can tell if someone's in there and they don't know what they're doing. If I were to hop in there, you would know. What the hell is this girl doing?
Same. I would probably jump off the rope and fall face plant. It'd be terrible.
Oh my gosh. The flexibility and the jumping and the agility. I would just be winded. I don't know how I'd be winded. So I figured for this video, we would do a crown jewel prediction, since that's tomorrow. I probably should have done it sooner, but oh well. And we'll just run through that really quickly. And then for the second half of the video, I was thinking we could do like a list of favorites so that you can get to know us better and if could follow each other, whatever. So sound good?
Perfect.
Yay. Okay, so first up I have Gunther and Cody. How do you feel about the match? Is it interesting to
So
you?
I did a little hot take, and I don't know if you saw it, but I posted a video like last
Oh.
week, and I'm just not invested in Gunther. Like
Mhm.
it's not him. It's really not. I just don't feel like any investment towards him. So I want Cody to win, but with that being said, I don't think Cody needs to push. So I think Gunther is going to actually win tomorrow because he needs a little bit more of that push. Cody is the bull, like he's the guy, like he's been the guy for ever since he returned, pretty much. So he doesn't really need that extra push. Gunther does. So I think Gunther's going to win, although I wish Cody would because I'm not too invested in Gunther. And again, it's nothing
Mhm.
about him like necessarily bad. I don't know. It's just
No,
not there.
yeah. I agree. I think like after the whole Damian Priest and Gunther thing, that's when I started losing interest in Gunther because they made him,
Mhm.
so much of a heel. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, to
Yeah.
me, like it really matters, like their character development. I like hyper focus on like what the hell are they doing, and I'm not. A lot of people know that I'm not a fan of the heels, and I just feel like they kind of made him like a super heel, a super villain, but not in a good funny way, like in
Mhm.
a bad way, So I'm like, ugh, I just want to see his character change up a little bit. And when I watched the kickoff, I think who is it? Cole? What's the first name? Adam?
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. He was talking about loosen up, have some fun and like
Yeah.
and trying to throw some like lightheartedness in Gunther's story because I feel like it's almost too serious. So
Mhm.
again, it kind of takes away the entertainment part of it. So maybe that's why like a lot of people are starting to become more disconnected with his character. But with that said, I'm actually gonna disagree with you. I think Cody's gonna win just because he's like, yeah, no one ever really beats Cody or whatever, unless it's like Roman Reigns and
He's like the it boy right now.
he's taking the pin or something. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Cody for that one, but I think Gunther definitely needs something. Like, I don't know, he needs more fights. I did like your TikTok post on that, by the way, because I was like, I agree. Like, I didn't really think about it, but
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
important.
I've seen everybody like post on my like For You page like how much they love him, and I'm like, I'm just not invested. And I think it's what you said. Like, I think he's too serious. And obviously, as a heel, like you have to be serious. But like going back, I'm gonna go back to Liv probably 1,000 times. But going back to her, like she's a heel right now. But she's also like that lighthearted, like having fun with it type
Yeah.
heel. And I think Gunther needs a little bit of that for us to be more invested into him.
Yeah, he needs some more lightening up. I feel like he's probably confused with his character. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like when it doesn't click to me, I feel like the actor or performer doesn't understand how to like really show that character that WWE is
Mhm.
wanting them to show. So that's why it's not coming across as like making sense, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna say Cody, you say Gunther, we'll see. I don't know. It's really a toss up. It doesn't really a lot of people are saying this too. The crown, the title for the crown jewel doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure it's important to the wrestler themselves because it's still an achievement, it's still a reward for them. But obviously it doesn't like further any agendas really. It doesn't further like a storyline or no one's gonna fight
Mhm.
for that title or whatever, so
I think it's like a trophy. Like, I
it's
mean,
like a
like it's the
trophy.
first one, so like it's a trophy on their case, but it doesn't really mean anything afterwards. And I think
Mhm.
that's why a lot of people are like, why did we do this? But I'm sure the people that win it are going to be happy.
Exactly. It's just like how he said like in the NBA and whatever they have those rings or the NFL, I think it is. They have the rings. They get that and they're like they're not gonna like fight over it. That's just
Right.
something they want. But it's just another accolade for them. Like
And you're
when
definitely not going to turn it down. So
no. All right. Yeah, I'm not too interested in the match. Honestly, I hope it's like a quickie. All right. What about Mello Andrade and LA Knight?
So I'm torn on this one because I feel like I like LA Knight a lot. I think he's done really, really good work. But I almost feel like the title needs to change hands.
Me
And
too.
so if it does, I hope Mello gets it.
Yes, girl.
I'm a huge Mello fan. I think he did really, really great work in NXT, and I
Yes.
think he needs that chance on like the main roster as well.
Mhm.
So I hope if it does change hands, I hope it goes to Mello, but I'm not so sure they're gonna take it away from LA Knight just yet. So I'm
Yeah.
a little undecided on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with everything you just said. I think it's gonna be Mellow. I do think they're gonna change hands just because they haven't really been setting LA Knight up with anyone else. You know,
Mm-hmm.
his storyline revolves around this Mellow and Andrade, fiasco. So as much as I would love for Mellow and Andrade to continue, I said on Twitter, 20 rounds, I don't care. Because they always bring the most. This is where, the wrestling might overtake the entertainment
Mm-hmm.
of the storyline because they just wrestle so good and they're so athletic and they do these crazy tricks and moves that I've never seen before. That's why I'm like, every match is different and I can watch them 1,000 times because they just provide something that we just don't typically see. So with them, their story is not even that big of a story. They just hate each other or whatever, but they fight so good that it makes it their story.
Yeah, I
So,
totally agree.
yeah. I'm gonna say Mellow for that one too. LA Knight, I'm so sorry, dude. I don't know. They haven't been giving you other people to work with, so
No, and I really think like he could shine with some good rivals, but he just hasn't had it. I'm a
yeah.
little disappointed in that.
Me too. Especially because the fans, were wanting him to have that push for so
Yeah.
long. He finally gets it and then he hasn't really defended it that much, really. So I don't know. I feel like that's just a pattern though with WWE. They haven't
Mm-hmm.
really, if there's a winner or whatever, a champ, they're not setting them up with like just regular old matches. It's like they
Yeah, I
always
feel
try
like
to set it up for
this might
PLE.
be a hot take too, but I feel like Cody's reign has been the same. Like everybody
Mhm.
wanted Cody to win, but I haven't like loved any of like the rivals that he's had on his title reign.
Yeah. He had one cool match with Mello and which is
Right.
awesome because Mello had just, been drafted or whatever, which is really cool. But after that, it was like nothing much happened after that. I think he got involved with the bloodline business,
Mm-hmm.
and people were mad at that. And then he got involved with Kevin Owens and Randy's story. So I feel like they just throw him everywhere because they're like,
Yeah.
people want to see him and people get really excited in the audience when they see him. So they're just like, put him everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
all right. What about the women's tag match?
So, can I just say this is the match that I'm most excited for?
Oh,
I
okay.
am. Like I think that the one reason I'm excited for it is because I love Lash Legend and Miss Jackson and Bianca
Mhm,
and Jade. So I'm
mhm.
excited to see them have like a legitimate match because the last one that they had like Lash and Miss Jackson had it was when it was interrupted by KO or whatever. And so I don't feel like they got enough time to really showcase themselves. And I
Yeah.
think that they are just a fantastic tag team. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I think Bianca and Jade keep the titles.
Me
Um,
too.
I do. I don't think they get rid of them, but I am super
Girl,
excited for this match.
we are linked here because I've been seeing a lot of people say that they think that they're going to lose it because there's so many people or whatever. But I'm like, no, I actually think they're going to win it. I think they're going to keep it because I think they're trying to showcase other people again. And they just got it back not too long ago. If they were to give the titles up, I think it might be the NXT,
Mhm.
um, Lash and Jakara, but I don't know. Something in me, usually I'm like, oh, they're gonna lose it, but this time I'm like, I think they're gonna retain. Like I don't know why, but something's just telling me that
I
they're
think it
gonna
plays
retain.
into their like dominance factor. Like they're
Yeah.
going against so many people and
Yep.
they're going to win to show how dominant they are.
Yep. And if they don't have it, Jade and Bianca don't have a storyline to follow up with
Mhm.
that. So it will put them at risk of being vulnerable of like not having something after. And as much as some people don't like them being in the tag division or whatever, it's helping them be on TV. It's helping
Mhm.
them get stay on top and be active on the roster. I'm more afraid that if they lose it, then what's next for them because everyone else has the main titles. And eventually they will, I think. get those titles or whatever, or have their moment again. But I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon because we already have Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton's story.
Mhm.
And then we have, of course, Liv and Rhea's story. And that's not done yet. So they wouldn't have anywhere to go.
I totally agree with that. And I also think that because Jade is still new in the WWE, so I think that being paired with Bianca is really helping her grow and develop.
Yeah.
So I think the longer they can keep them together until there is a storyline for them, the better for both of them.
Yep. Yep. I agree. All right. What about Seth and Braun?
So I am a huge Seth Rollins fan. Love him. I am a Shield girl. Like I go back to like Roman and him in the Shield. But I think he's gonna lose. I think Bronson
Ooh.
Reed's gonna win because I go back to who needs the push. Seth doesn't need the push. Everybody loves Seth. Everybody chants his name when he comes out. Bronson needs that push because he hasn't been in many like in-depth storylines besides this one. So I think that Bronson will win just because he needs that extra like attention.
That's a good point. Yeah. Definitely you could go that push factor or that popularity factor. For me, I'm gonna go with Seth just because I feel like he no one wants to see Seth lose, unfortunately. I just feel like he does have that popularity over Braun. And it will
Mhm.
build the feud up more if they have that back and forth. Because when I think about what happened before in their history, Braun was the one. Is it Bronson? Am I saying it right?
It's Bronson, yeah. There's so
Bronson.
many of them. There's like Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker, Bronson.
And they shorten it and all that. So Bronson, he's the one that took Seth out. So if I'm
Mhm.
following the storyline, I'm like, well, now Seth has to get a one up on him. He has to like win over him since Bronson was the one to take him out. That's just my, prediction or whatever. But I think that would be cool because I just love Seth. I want to see him on top. But I could also see Bronson winning too. So uh, I don't
I
know.
totally agree. I think if they want to continue the Bronson and Seth feud, then Seth does win. I think if they want to end it here and move on, then I think Bronson wins. So it just kind of depends on what WWE wants to do with that storyline. I just feel like Bronson needs that push a little more than Seth because no one's going to forget Seth Rollins.
That's true. I mean, they could still continue it even if Bronson wins because
True.
that Seth would be mad. But there's no title or anything, right? It's just like a regular
No, it's just a
match.
match.
It's possible Bronson could win because of that, or it's just that a moment really. But yeah, I mean, either way, I could see it. So we'll have to come back and see. All right, what about Kevin and Randy?
So I want Randy to win, but I think KO is going to win because I think he just turned heel. He needs to stay kind of in that heel mode. And so I really think that they're going to give KO the win. And I honestly think that even after he wins, he's going to like beat down Randy pretty bad to like just further that heel
Yeah.
that he's got in him right now. So I think this one goes to KO, even though I love Randy and I want him to win.
I was really undecided because I really didn't put too much thought into this weird thing they have going on. It's funny to me, but it hasn't been capturing me for some reason. But hearing your explanation of it, I'm going to agree with you. I think that I always say this: WWE loves their heels. They
They
love
do.
it because they know it pisses people off, and they're
Mhm.
like, we want people to stay watching and see the hero be redeemed in some way. So in order to do that, we need to piss people off a few times in order to keep them intrigued or whatever. So, the lack of accountability that Kevin Owens is having right now is so frustrating for someone like me who's like, justice, like that's not fair. But yeah, he's like completely ignoring his role in this whole situation. He's pretending like he's not a
Yeah,
heel
he's
right
living
now.
in delusional land over there.
Yes, he really is. I like that they wanted him to be a heel off camera
Mhm.
because I think it was just too difficult for them to make him like do something like a betrayal in front of everybody. Like I don't know. It's like why didn't they do that earlier? I think they're like, no, we have to make it like more secret or in the
I
background.
think that was probably one of the coolest moves I've seen by WWE
Yes.
recently because it was such a big risk. Like you had him
Mhm.
turn heel when no cameras were on and relied on your fans to capture it, and it went everywhere. Like, I mean, I saw it everywhere. So
Yeah.
I think that move by WWE was like a big risk, but it paid off so highly.
Yeah. I think they do that in order to test the audience too of like, how are they going to respond? They say they don't care about social media, but they care because
They do.
they use social media to test the audience to see what the vibes are, to also to promote their stuff. And I think again, they're becoming big again because of social media, and TikTok for sure is, TikTok is what brought me into it. I was a Total Divas fan, and I would watch the show and see the little clips and it
Same.
would be, but then like once it ended, I stopped. I was like, whatever, because I love the drama and the reality TV, portion of it. That's why with WWE, I like the storylines more so than the like actual wrestling sometimes. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know. I get very hyper focused on the storylines. It's kind of like a book club on Twitter. It's like, why did they do this? No, they should have done that. But I kind of think of it that way. So yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna say you too, even though I think you were in the wrong this time.
He was, for sure.
All right. Next up is your favorite, Liv and Naya, or at
I
least one
do
of your
love me
favorite
some
characters.
Liv. Rhea fans can come at me, but I love Liv.
Oh boy, they will.
But I loved Liv a long time ago, so we're not turning on her now. We're gonna ride or die.
That's right.
I personally think that Liv is going to win. And the only reason I say that is because I'm feeling a Tiffy cash in. And so I think what's going to happen is Raquel's going to interfere and take out Nia. Liv's going to win, and then Tiffy's going to cash in.
Ooh. Do you think that it'll be a successful cash in?
I do.
Oh my
I
gosh. Oh. Yeah, I think Liv is winning for sure too. I feel like if Tiffany cashes in though, did you say on Naya?
Yeah, on Nia.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was like, oh, on Liv? Yeah, I think she will cash in on Naya. I do think she will be successful as well. I feel like that's the most satisfying outcome. I know some people want her to cash in on Liv, but I was like, why would she do that when they have been building up, this whole drama between her and Naya for this whole time about, especially Naya has been treating her horribly.
Yes.
To the like borderline abusive. And so yeah, I would love to see her get her revenge in some way on Naya and by taking her title away. So I would love to see that.
I think the reason why this whole like Liv thing came about is because the fans were like, they knew she was going to cash in on Nia, so WWE was like, well, let's plant this little Easter egg and see if we can throw them off a little bit. But I definitely think she cashes in on Nia, and ever since Nia come back, I didn't like her before when she was on there too much. I loved her on Total Divas. I thought she was hysterical on there, but I didn't love her character in the actual wrestling itself. But since she's come back, I really do like her, and I think she's improved a lot. But I still think Tiffany is going to get, it's almost like a bully and like the person she's bullying, and Tiffany's going to get the revenge on the bully, I feel like.
Yes, and I hope so. I hope she does. I love Nia. I think she's hilarious. And I love the funny heels. That's kind of why I like Liv too. She's just hilarious and unserious, and it's entertaining. It's not so dark, so yeah, I would love to see that. Tiffany deserves it too. I think it would be cool to see her. And Tiffany has a lot of beef with people on SmackDown.
She does.
Naomi. And Naomi has beaten her several times, or a few times.
And I love Tiffy, and I hope she gets the belt, but I would not complain at all if Naomi beat her when she got the belt, because Naomi is my girl. Like, I love her.
And, Naomi has Bailey as, her person still, her friend. So I feel like she could always be helped. Obviously, she don't need to be helped, but I just feel like Tiffany did a lot of wrongdoings with Bailey and Naomi. So that's why. And then, yeah, Tiffany would have some enemies on her hand too. So
yeah,
I'm sure Bianca
really good storylines. So
Yeah. Yeah. Her being champ creates opportunities for the women on SmackDown. So, all right. Also, I heard a rumor. No, I'm not gonna even say it because I don't think it's real. All right, what about the final match with the 6 tag men
so
with
this one
Roman
hurts
Reigns?
me. This one hurts me. But I
Okay.
think the new bloodline is going to win this one. And it
Really?
hurts me to say that because I am a huge Jey Uso fan, obviously.
Mhm.
But I think that this storyline is going to continue. And I think that if the OG bloodline wins, it's kind of like we conquered you guys, like we're better than you guys. So
Already?
I
Yeah.
think that the new bloodline is going to win. I actually called them on my post for Crown World predictions Timu bloodline because that's what I refer to them as because they're not as good as the original.
Yeah.
But I feel like that they're going to win so that the storyline can continue. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else pops up because, you know, they've got cousins and aunts and uncles and everything everywhere.
Literally. Um, okay. Ooh, I wonder if that somebody will be Sammy. Because we did see
Sammy, yeah,
Sammy. Yeah, Sammy getting involved would make a lot of sense because Sammy was talking to Solo.
Solo. Mm-hmm.
But what if he helps the original bloodline? You know?
See, this is my theory on this. I'll tell you my theory on this. I think that Sammy is going to help Solo and the new bloodline to make them feel like he's a part of them, and then he's going to turn on them.
Hmm. Uh,
I think he's like a decoy.
oh, so he'll come
Yeah.
out with them?
So I think like Jay and Jimmy and Roman are putting him up to like making friends with the new bloodline
Yeah.
to get in their heads. And I think he's a decoy and he's like
Yeah.
a little pawn in the chess game.
With that said, though, I feel like it's gonna be the original team. I feel like the original bloodline, they just got back together, and as much as I like, they do play favoritism with WWE
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So people have been wanting to see the Usos back together for so long. They're finally back together, and like we didn't really get like a true accountability moment, really, but they play favoritism sometimes. So that's the only reason why I think it's gonna be the original bloodline. I think Sammy is going to show Jay that he is family. And I just feel like it could go two ways. Like Sammy, like he could do it as a betrayal to Jay, to
Mm-hmm.
be like, you didn't say I was family, so I'm mad at you now. But that doesn't fit Sammy's character really. And then he could also go the other way and be like, see, how many times do I have to prove myself to you that I'm going to be here for you guys and I'm part of your family? And then when I think about the numbers game, the new bloodline, Timu bloodline, they have like what, 4 or 5
They have
members.
four. They have four, yeah.
So Sammy is that fourth
Yeah.
original kind of original member of the bloodline. He got in there a little later, but still. So that would complete the original bloodlines team, but it just really depends cuz Sammy when he lost that title, he was kind of heel like
Mm-hmm.
he was turning heel like. So I don't know. It really depends on Sammy's I feel like if he's involved, which I think he will, but
And I definitely wouldn't be upset with the original bloodline winning. I
sure.
just feel like with the continuing storytelling,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to somehow put the new one still on top to have like bragging rights per se.
That's true. They could have, if that I think it depends on Sammy. If Sammy's involved,
Mm-hmm.
which way he goes is gonna like determine the outcome of the match. But I gotta go with my original, bloodline. Now that I think about it, it's like Cody and the bloodline winning that day. Like I don't know.
I know, right? You have to look at all of them as like a whole picture because sometimes
Yeah.
they like intertwine.
I'm like the two top people right now are gonna win. Like, I don't know, like Roman Reigns and Cody both winning on this day. It kind of feels almost too like a overkill of
Mm-hmm.
favoritism. So I'm like, I don't know, but I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the original. Maybe Sammy is not really gonna betray us. We'll have to see though, because Sammy loves Jay, even
I
though
hope
Jay.
not because I love Jay and Sammy together. Like they're
I know
hysterical. But I just feel like
he could
I feel like
betray.
I don't know if it's gonna be a betray. I think it's gonna look like a betray, but I think like he's gonna be like a little
Oh.
rat for the OGs, so that he can kind
Oh.
of weasel his way in and like figure out what's going on and like go back to him.
Ooh, I would love to see that played out. All right, so let's do our favorites. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so the first half of it, I made like just favorites pertaining to wrestling, and then the second half of it is more personal, like favorite stuff. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So the first one is, what is your favorite theme song?
Ooh, that's such a good one. Honestly, it was Roman Reigns' old theme song when he was heel.
Ooh.
Like that one was just like it. The music hit and you just felt it.
Yeah. He's
And
just
his new one is good too, but it's just not the same.
yeah. It's very like movie-esque. Like you could find
Mm-hmm.
it in a like in a movie. I would say and I wasn't even really watching at this time, but I saw it like on the timeline one day and I like now I'm like listening into it. Kelly's theme song.
Yeah,
Na, 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 na,
it gets
na, na,
stuck in your
na,
head like
na,
on
na.
repeat.
Yeah. That one it's between that one and HBK's. Yeah, a sexy boy.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good HBK throwback.
I'm like, I can't back I feel like the ones back then were better in some ways.
Yes.
Like they were more bops. Like I could dance to it. Now it's like they focus more on the theatrics
Mm-hmm.
of their
That
songs.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah, rather than like I want to be able to dance to it. I want to dance and like feel like hyped up. All right, what about favorite faction?
So my all-time favorite faction is D-Generation X. I love HBK and I love Sean. Or I love HBK and I love Triple H. Um,
Mm,
Newer faction is the Bloodline for sure.
okay. I'll say Bloodline as my favorite. And then my comfort one would be like Alpha Academy. I just think they're so cute and funny. I don't know. They're like so simple. Like
Yeah, I love like Otis, Maxine, and Akira's like dynamic because it's like three people you wouldn't fit together, but they just do.
they just match. They fit so perfect. And especially Maxine. Like she's like I feel like she's so odd in the group, but she's so sweet and nurturing that it doesn't matter, you know? Like she kind of like is the gel to me. All right, what about I put favorite era, but honestly, I don't know that many eras, you guys. So, but I felt like it was a good question for someone who has
I
that.
I mean, I will be honest with you, like I don't even know like technically which ones are classified really. Like I know like there's
Okay.
the attitude, obviously, and then like whatever now is, and but I don't know any in betweens. I will say like the attitude one was a little unhinged, which was kind of
Yeah.
fun. But I feel like now is really good too because we have that dramatic feel. So I'm kind of in between those two.
Right. I was gonna say now, just because I like I'm newer to watching, and the only other time was Total Diva era. I don't even is that
Mm-hmm.
an era? I think that the
Yeah,
Diva
see, and I
era.
don't know what like classifies really. Like,
It's just things that people say on Twitter, so it has to be
yeah.
real, right? Like I'll say now in the Diva era. Which is so controversial because, you know, people back then, the diva era was like, "Oh, we're not being seen as a threat enough,"
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, but I like the femininity that they would show too, like, "I can be feminine and whoop your ass," like
Yeah.
so I like that too. I like the play on that, but I could understand wanting more for the women's division
Mm-hmm.
as a whole, so alright, what about favorite wrestler?
All time favorite wrestler is probably HBK. I
Ooh.
love HBK. Um, Growing up, I did love Jeff Hardy too, like jumping off the ropes and flips and ladders, and yeah, it was just entertaining. Currently, Jey Uso.
Ooh, Jay. Okay. What about female?
Female all time, I was a really big Bellas fan.
Yeah.
I love the Bella twins. So they are probably my all-time favorite female. Currently, Liv Morgan.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I would say my favorite female wrestler right now is between, well, I would say Bianca Belair, obviously. I think she's just the most athletic person I've ever seen in my life.
She's crazy.
Like, I don't think people realize the level of agility and stamina you have to have in order to perform the way that she performs. So like I just her jumps, her hops, her even the way she stands up every time, it just I'm like, how is she doing that? Like is she a robot? I don't know.
Yeah, she's insane.
Insane. But yeah, back in the day I would say Nikki. I
Mhm.
felt like Nikki Bella, she's like hilarious and like her attitude, her sassiness, I definitely relate to that. And then male wise, I would say obviously I love Roman, but right now, like as an up and coming, I would say Carmelo Hayes
Yeah.
for sure. All right, what about favorite storyline?
Oh,
Oh,
there's been so many. Um,
mhm.
I really liked going back to the Bella twins. I really liked when Brie and Stephanie McMahon went back and forth over Daniel Bryan. That one was a really good one. And then like Nikki got involved and turned on her sister, so that one was a really
Oh
good one because it
yeah.
brought some drama to it.
Yeah.
Right now, I honestly I can't turn off Liv Dom. Like I just
Yeah.
can't. Like
Ugh.
I don't know. It's just I'm obsessed.
Same between them and obviously the bloodline storylines. I feel like those are just
Yeah.
the hottest ones right now. Like they're the most well developed and well thought out of. Like or even I would say it's not my favorite, but I another planned one is kind of like Randy and Kevin
Yeah.
Owens and but like they don't take I feel like they don't take the time really to build on their storylines and to make them engaging and dramatic enough. Like I said, people were literally saying like Liv and Dom brought me back into wrestling and they're kissing
Mhm.
and they're the love and the love story of it. So obviously I have to go with the love story. But I think it the Liv Dom story, it just causes a lot of controversy. It causes a lot of debate. And I think that's why there's so many people drawn to it because they're like, no, that wasn't fair. No, that wasn't fair. Well, she's
Yeah.
getting revenge on her. Well, she shouldn't get revenge because revenge is wrong. But she did a lot in the past too. So you guys
Mhm.
are defending that. So, like it causes a lot of talk. And I think that's one of the reasons. What do you think? Like, what makes
I
it so
think, well, and I honestly think that it's just so well developed because there's so many like little things that built up to like
Yeah.
the big thing. And I think that's why it drew everybody in because there's like these little like hints dropped here and there. And
Oh
everybody's
my
like, okay,
gosh.
what's going to happen next week? I got to see, you know? And I like, again, this may cause some controversy, but I mean, Rhea started it. She started it. she attacked Liv first. She
She
turned on
did.
Liv when they were tag team. So may cause
Well,
some controversy, but
you're in the
Rhea is
right
not innocent.
you are in the right company because I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I wonder if it's just like how Roman Reigns, I could kind of see how people were like hate him and are mad at him, but
Mm-hmm.
we're like we love him anyways because we're just like super huge fans, or whatever. And I think that's just what's happening with that side too. With Rhea is like they know she did some stuff that messed up. I think what makes it annoying is they never admit it.
Mm-hmm.
They never like oh, that was wrong of her. They're just like finding ways to justify it. And I think that's what causes like so much annoyance or whatever. But I understand like loving your loving your, wrestler or whatever and not wanting to, change up or whatever. Trying to see the negatives in them and trying to find the flaws in their character or see
Mm-hmm.
the flaws in their character is hard if you're like truly obsessed or like in love with like the character itself. So but it's like, yeah, I agree with you, girl. Like, there was a lot of wrongdoings, and I feel sad for her. I do. Like, I don't know. I feel bad for people, even if they did wrong and they get their karma back and they get that payment, that those dues. I feel sad for her. She's been having so many injuries, and obviously,
Yeah.
we don't wish injury on anybody.
No.
And it's hard though when you have Liv Morgan literally laughing about it, and it's like, and so it's just causing more drama around it or whatever. But yeah, she
Yeah, the
got
injuries suck, obviously. Like,
yeah,
I mean, when she first had to leave because of her injury and she had to give up the title, like, I was like, damn, like, that
yeah.
sucks. because she is a superstar. Like she is awesome in the ring and on the mic, and her character is she's
Yeah.
awesome. And I can admit that. And then, this recent one on NXT where they, beat her or whatever, but she has like a legitimate injury, like it sucks.
Yeah.
Like I obviously don't want her out like that. The storyline is
Yeah.
popping and we don't want to see her like hurt or out or whatever. So the injuries itself suck, and I hate that for her. I just think that the storyline is just so intriguing because you have like two sides that are just so avid about their people, and like they just want to defend them at all cost.
It reminds me of Rock and Cena. It's kind of like
Yes.
it created two divides, which is awesome because it's like now we have something to really argue and talk about. And WWE, they love that. They're like, yes, argue about it. Talk about us more, like talk about what we're doing here because it brings them attention. So but yeah, I mean, that divide is that line is so thin. It's so easy to be like, oh, well, Liv took it too far. And then it's so easy to say, well, Rhea was a monster last year
Yeah.
in the past 2 years, like even someone had made a good point that even if it wasn't about Liv and Raquel, Rhea did a lot of things to the women's division,
Mhm.
period. And I remember her reign of dominance and her saying all these things like, oh, I'm better than them. I'm more dominant than them, stronger than them. So literally squashing all of the girls on Raw, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
she had matches in like 10 seconds. So it's like, okay.
literally, and she affected even NXT and like was making men lose so
Mhm.
that, they could get whatever it was that Judgment Day wanted at that time. So, but yeah, I feel sad for her. I hope she, recovers, and I don't want to see her injured ever. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, Rhea. I hope you feel better. Like that's scary. Someone did like a side by side of like all the injuries. Like she
Mhm.
headbutted Liv, and then she literally has a broken orbital, whatever. And then obviously her what was it? Her
Her like
shoulder,
shoulder? Yeah.
Liv's shoulder. So it's like weird how this is like all lining up. It's kind of
It's
creepy at this point.
crazy.
It's
Yeah, it's kind of
creepy.
crazy.
And it was there was speculation that it was at the same um what was it? Arena.
It was. So, yeah, they were both in Philly, and so I didn't put two and two together until I listened to Liv Morgan on Impulsive this past week. And I'll be honest with you, I don't listen to that show a lot. But I saw Liv was on there. I was like, I gotta listen. But she was like talking like this was obviously taped before Monday Night Raw. And she was talking and she was like, the last time, we were in Philly was when the, shoulder injury went down and I attacked her or whatever. So for it to like come full circle and like her get like legitimate hurt again is really weird. Like I think she should
Yeah.
stay out of Philly because
I
it's
know.
super creepy at this
I'm
point.
literally girl, the next time you go to Philly, just don't fight. Like just
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
I don't know, announce. I don't know.
Right. Just have a promo and stay in the back. I don't know, because it's cursed at this point. I don't know what to say. But yeah, that's terrifying. All right. What about your favorite match? It could be any time. I know that's a broad
That is
thing,
very
but
broad, but the first one that I actually came to mind was the Money in the Bank match with like Naomi, Chelsea Green. Was that last year? Tiffany? Maybe that was last year.
the Money in the Bank? It was this year.
Yeah. Was
It
it
was
this
this
year?
year. Yeah.
Okay, so that one was so good. Like the women
Yeah.
showed out. And so that one like is the first one that comes to my mind.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know now. Oh, now that you said that, it made me think of the men. The men and the women both really
Mhm.
performed. That's where Mello and Andrade, I think, kind of stood out. And
Started. Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
yep.
But I
Um,
can't put that one at my list because I was still salty that Drew won and Jay didn't. So
true. I'm gonna say I really enjoyed, even though Io stole it from Bianca, Charlotte, and Io when they were
yeah.
like I think it was last year in SummerSlam, and Bianca got hurt. or whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I just feel like they, like, really performed. And I think it was Asuka. Asuka was there too.
I
Io
think you're right.
Io stole it at the end or whatever from
Mhm.
Bianca. So I would say maybe that one, but I don't know, there's so many good ones. I'm sure I'm missing, like, a ton that I really enjoy too,
Yeah.
but
Well, and I obviously WrestleMania this year with the Cody and Roman one with just all of the people
oh
that
my
popped
god.
up was amazing. So that one's on there too. Like it was so good. So
Oh,
they've been
yeah.
really good matches lately.
That one takes the cake. I changed my mind. Cody and Roman. Even though Roman lost, I was so sad. Oh my gosh.
I
Even
know.
though, he had a long, long run, so I shouldn't be sad, but I'm a newer wrestler watcher, whatever, and so I was like, "Ah." I'm like, I didn't want to see him lose because to me, he's only been champ for like a year. But for everyone else, it's been longer. So you guys have even a deeper, connection to that. But yeah, that was good. I like how they had so many surprises
Mhm.
and they really showcased, right? Yeah, Roman as like this formidable force that he
Mhm.
needed all of these people to take him down. So it was like a final boss fight
Yeah,
on a video game.
that one was super super good. I was sad that Roman lost too, I'll be honest. And I don't have
Oh,
anything against Cody, but I do love Roman.
yeah,
I think he's just number one. I can't root against a guy that like came back from having cancer. Like that's amazing. And to be like in the shape that he's in and everything, like it's just fantastic.
yeah,
But also I just love how he pushes all of his family, like with the Usos and Solo and all of these people. I mean, the Usos were already in, but like Solo and them, like I feel like he helped escalate them. That's
yeah.
probably not the right word. My brain's shutting
It's
down.
close.
He's pushing them, and I love that. So yeah,
Yeah,
I was a little sad Roman lost too.
yeah. And to hype Cody up, it was so cool to
Hmm.
see him with his family, his wife, and that was a sad moment too because it's like I'm sure
Yeah.
they're just so happy and it's an achievement. It's like your career being broadcasted to millions of people in the world,
Hmm.
it's like you getting promoted at work, but instead you have like a trillion people rooting for you, so
Well, it
it's
was
like
like a full circle moment too, because he like left and then came back, and like now he's on top. So it was full circle
yeah.
moment.
And the fans really rooted for him to have that
Hmm.
moment because he wasn't going to have it. So they had to change their whole plans just for him, to get
Hmm.
it. So it was just wild. All right, so here's my personal favorites, and this will be the last thing we do, and
Okay.
that'll be it. Okay, so because Halloween was recently, and everyone was having a little Twitter debate. I don't know if you saw it. What's your favorite candy?
My favorite candy. Ooh, I like Milky Ways. I am a Milky Way girl.
No, Milky
I like caramel.
Way.
I do.
I hate biting into Milky Ways and there's like no crunch. I don't know why. It's like a texture thing for me, but they're pretty good. I mean, they're sweet, but yeah, I'm not a fan. But that was like, did you see the NXT video? That's like a lot of
No.
the NXT people's favorite too. Is the
Oh,
Milky.
really? No, I missed
Mhm.
that one. I saw the one of the boogeyman scaring everybody, and that was hysterical.
I saw that one too. I would say, my back in the day, it used to be sour worms. I love sour candy. But now I would say my favorite candy. I like the purple bag of Skittles. That's very specific, but I don't like the red bag of Skittles. I like the purple bag.
Yeah.
And I like this is a newer one, the nerd gummy clusters.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
They're so
See, and I'm
good.
not a big candy, like, I would rather have chocolate than candy,
Yeah.
but the gummy clusters are very good.
Yeah, it depends on the mood. If it's chocolate, I just like the good old regular Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm very particular, but all right, what about favorite movie
Scary movie or just overall?
overall?
Overall. Ooh, there's so many. I love a good rom-com.
Mhm.
So I love like Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh,
But I also love a good scary movie. So like Scream is my like go-to. Like the original
really?
Scream. Love it.
Oh, it was so gory. Oh, I just remembered the, like, opening scene. Um, yeah, a lot of people know that I don't. I don't like horror. I'm such a baby. I'm such a scaredy cat. For me, I would much rather prefer like a comedy or something like that.
I am a comedy girl too.
I don't know. Like I don't.
Like a good Adam Sandler movie. I do like Adam Sandler.
The Mask, The Mask, or that's
Jim
someone else.
Carrey.
Jim Carrey. I like
Yeah.
Jim Carrey and whatever he does. The Grinch, The Mask.
The Grinch.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
Adam Sandler, my favorite from him is maybe like Waterboy or
Mhm.
what is the other one? Big Daddy, or is it Big Daddy or
Yeah,
whatever?
that one. Yep, that one is really funny too. So, a fun fact, my daughter is named after an Adam Sandler movie.
Really? What is it?
Just go with it. So my daughter's name is Palmer, and Palmer's in that
Oh.
movie. It's the girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
That is
fun fact.
hilarious. So I would say something with that. Something with a funny person in it. But that's awesome. How old's your daughter? I can
She just turned 1 in September.
I was gonna say, you're like so young.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Okay. Favorite song.
Oh gosh. You're putting me on the spot here. I have so many. Right now, like I'm really bopping out to like Sabrina Carpenter. Glorilla's new album is really good.
Okay.
But I love me some like Wayne and Drake. Like
Yeah.
my high school time was like prime Young Money, Wayne, Drake. So like those
Okay,
are my go-to.
all right. I like the old Drake. His
I do
old
too.
songs, like
Yeah, his
Cameras or
like yeah. Like his first album and then like Thank Me Later is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Right now, my favorite songs always change, and I'm okay with it. I've accepted it.
Mhm.
But right now, my favorite song is Desert Rose by Lolo. I think it's like Lolo something. The last name is hard to
Oh.
pronounce. But it's I found it from TikTok. A lot of my music is coming from TikTok because they have like good songs that I just discovered. I'm like, oh, but it's more like a R&B type of song, and
Okay.
it's really, really pretty. And of course, it's about love. So
Yeah,
Desert Rose.
my playlist is crazy. Like we'll be listening to rap one song and then like
Oh,
country and then
girl.
pop and then like old school. Like I don't it's
Oh,
crazy.
girl, yes. Old school. I will even listen to like electronic, old school. Not, I guess it's not electronic. What is it called? Like, what would that be called? Like, my mom used to literally dance in the living room with the little glow sticks.
Oh, is
Is
that
that
like
like
is it like EDM or something like that? It's isn't it like a electronic dance music? Is that what it is?
it's kinda like that,
Maybe?
but
Yeah,
I feel like EDM is so, like, modern day. It's like,
true.
now, but it was,
True.
like, back then, like, 80s, 90s, maybe
Yeah.
not 80s, but, like, it was a around that time, so, like, I don't know. I'll have to, like, come back to that and tell you if I'll send you a message if I can
Yeah.
remember what song. Alright, what about favorite actor or actress?
Favorite actor. I go back to Adam Sandler. I really like him because I do like comedy movies a lot.
Mhm.
Um, Actress, I love Jennifer Aniston. Um, I'm a Friends girl, so I like Friends. And so like Jennifer Aniston is, I was watching that today. And then I also of like the new up and coming, I love Zendaya. I think she's super
Yeah,
talented and she's gorgeous.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. I kind of watch the same movies, unfortunately. That's kind of sad
yeah.
to say, but like I repeat the same movies.
No, I get that. I don't know. I honestly don't watch a lot of movies. I'll watch like reality TV and stuff, but
Mhm.
I really liked Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So Angelina and Brad. I love when Brad played in Troy. Oh my god, he was so fun in that movie, girl. That was my favorite movie that he was in. But I'm trying to think. I think those are my top two, and I know that's very typical answer, but I like them for a reason. They're just
Yeah,
good.
they are. I agree. I also like Bradley Cooper. That was one that came to mind.
Oh.
I like him a lot. I think he's really good in what he does. So
Yeah. Alexa Demi is also really good, the girl who played Maddie in Euphoria. So I like her
oh
too.
yeah.
Gorgeous too. But all right, two more and then I swear we're done. Favorite book.
Oh, so I am like love story or like murder mystery. Like that's I have
Yes.
no in between.
Same girl.
No in between. So I
Same.
love anything by Frida McFadden. If you're looking for like a murder mystery stuff, like thriller craziness, Variety is really good. And then on like the love story side, I love Elle Kennedy. I just read like all of her books. She writes like, and I don't know. I watch a little bit of hockey here and there, but she writes like hockey romances, and I don't know how I
Oh.
found her. I think it was on like TikTok.
Hmm.
But so I was like, oh, I need a new book. Let's see what this is
Yeah.
about. And I've read every single book she's wrote now. Like it's
Mm.
crazy. So
Well,
she's
now
really good.
I have to Google it now because I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm so
so
bad with
she's like, and again, I don't follow hockey a whole lot, but like they're like love story, but they've got a little bit of spice, so you're not like
oh
bored,
yeah,
you know?
girl.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they're really, really good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really like the love stories, obviously, and I like the like there has to be like maybe some murder or something. There's some like some detective criminal stuff. I also like paranormal stuff, so like the vampires and
Oh yeah.
witches or whatever. I like that stuff. But my favorite and one I just read, I had to look it up too because I was like, what's the author? I don't remember. But it's called Behind Closed Doors and it's from B.A. Paris. And
Oh,
basically
I'll have to check that one out.
it's really good. It's a thrilling, suspenseful type. And basically it's about how this woman is being like kind of sort of abused by her husband. And it's no one knows like how toxic he is behind closed doors. And she escapes him basically. So
Oh.
it's a really good one. It's emotional, it's deep. So if there's any triggers, I wouldn't recommend for some people, but it's good because she gets out of it, you know. So I won't spoil it, but it's thrilling. It's kind of like it's a thriller, scary, but romance in some form too. But all right, favorite show. Last question.
Oh, I have so many. Like it depends on the genre. Like I love reality TV. I'm currently like watching Dancing with the Stars every week. I don't know what it is about Dancing with the Stars, but like it just draws me in every season, and I'm like half the time like I don't even care about half the people. Like I don't know them or like they're not relevant, but I'm just like it's just I don't know. I think it's like glitz and glamour. So I've been watching that pretty weekly. I'm a huge Friends girl, like I said before.
Yeah.
I love Friends. I feel like that's just a show that I can put on and like not really pay attention to it, but it's
The
like that
background.
good background. Yeah, it's like good background. So it's like my comfort show.
Yeah. I'd say um my comfort would be like Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm with you on the reality
Mm-hmm.
TV stuff. And then obviously like the Family Guy or something like that. Um, but what was I gonna say? Oh, one that's like I guess different and unique and odd. I like Gordon Ramsay shows. So like
Oh,
what is it? Hell's
Hell's
Kitchen?
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, especially when they have a little bit of drama too in, in there. I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes they'll have like little couples in there, or they're like, no, it's you, it's your fault. Da, da, da. So
So we're going to Vegas in April during WrestleMania week. And somebody sent me and they're like, you've got to go try Gordon Ramsay's like restaurant out there. And I haven't looked it up, so I don't even know what it's called or anything. But that yeah, they sent me that and they were like, you got to go try it.
yes, you should. I mean, if, I didn't know that. I mean, yeah, I guess it is open, huh? It might be like overly expensive just because it's
Yeah.
him or
I mean,
whatever, but
anything
it's an
like that with
experience.
a name probably is.
It's an experience. You're paying for the experience, I think.
Mhm.
But that would be cool. So you're going to WrestleMania? I'm
I'm
jealous.
not going to WrestleMania, girl. I would have had to mortgage my house to get
Ah!
tickets to WrestleMania. But we are going during that week. So we actually I've got to adjust my foot's asleep. But we were supposed to go to Florida back when the last hurricane hit.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go, obviously. So we had like a flight credit, and I was like, we've never been to Vegas. Like, that would be fun. And it just so happened to work out like that. WrestleMania week was like the cheapest flights we could get from here.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, well, let's just book it. And if we get to go to WrestleMania, we do. If not, there'll be plenty of stuff going on that we can see. So I'm not going to WrestleMania because, like I said, I have a child that I have to take care of. So I couldn't mortgage my house to go because those prices were crazy. But we're going to be there. So that'll be cool.
It'll still be so much fun. And hopefully, like you said, as it gets closer, those prices drop because they're going to want to sell those tickets. But it is sad and disheartening and discouraging to see those price jumps. And I'll have people comment like, oh, back in the day, it was like nothing to go, like $200 for like 5 tickets or whatever, like it costs nothing to go. And now it's like almost impossible. But I think it just speaks on WWE's success. And hopefully they can cap it somewhere to where just your average Joe can go and not feel like they have to drop $500 to $1,000, like $500 or $1,000 on one ticket,
Yeah, so. Like the cheapest because I got in like the queue or whatever, and like the cheapest that I found was like $1,500 a piece, and I was like, I just can't do that. Like I can't.
No, I'm telling you, on the day, those prices are going to drop because they're going to want to sell it. So you might still be able to go.
That's what I'm hoping for. If not, I know that SmackDown will be there. So maybe we can do that one instead, I know there'll be plenty of stuff to do. So I'm not too concerned. But yeah, I was like, holy cow. When I saw those tickets, I was like, no, we're not doing it.
Yep. And it's literally just because of the location. Because I've had my Twitter peeps that will, tell me like, oh, in my city, it's only $200 to get floor seats front row. And I'm like, what? Like $200 will get you a third level seating, in Tampa. But because they're in a smaller city or whatever, the prices are way cheaper. So,
and it doesn't help that John Cena's last WrestleMania. So I'm sure everybody's like, oh, we got to go see John Cena because, he's retiring or whatever. But yeah. I looked at tickets. They're actually coming close to me this month, and I could get in the door. It was like 200 level, but I could get in the door for like $30. And I was like,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's way better. That's way nicer. I've seen them that way, but it's closer, usually closer to the date when in Tampa. Like I'm telling you, girl, like even the higher level is like in the hundreds for like a crazy bad seat. Like I don't know. It's just not fair.
It's not.
Do better, WWE. Like, what the hell is going on? But anyways, thank you so much, Mandy, for being here.
Of course, anytime.
I'd love to have you on whenever, you want to come back. I'm sure everyone would love to see you back too. But we're going to peace out. We're already missing SmackDown. I apologize. And thank you for watching.
Of course.
Deuces. Bye, you guys.